All right. So like Donnie said about the beginning of this podcast here, we're going to talk about some Broncos in pop culture. So we're going to talk about Broncos in movies, Broncos in TV shows, maybe some music videos, and kind of go through this here. Now, I looked up on the Internet Movie Car Database, the IMCD, and there are over 1,900 Broncos used in movies through the years. So there's a lot to choose from, but these are ones where they're more of a main character. There's like a lot of them where it's like, oh yeah, there's a Bronco parked on the street in the background. So we're not going to talk about all of those. There are a few of those in there because I think some of them are pretty cool, but, so we're going to kind of go through a little history here. Now, here's what I want you to do. I know some of you guys have your favorite, Bronco in a movie. Like, you're probably like me. You're going to hear, I have one here that it was when I saw this Bronco, I was like, I need one of those. So email us at questions at thebroncast.com, questions at thebroncast.com. And I want to know, let us know what your favorite Bronco in movies are, or leave it in the comments below if you're watching this on YouTube, because I think it's pretty cool. So here we go. Broncos in the movies.
We aren't necessarily recommending these movies.
No.
Don't go, I'll never watch another movie Donnie recommended, because
and
I may not have watched the movie myself.
I haven't seen all of these by any means. So some of them, I was doing a little research on these and I was like, oh, that's interesting. What is this? So there's one in here that's
so
pretty
our
funny.
First one, I actually did watch this TV show.
Oh.
It was called Green Acres.
Yep.
Was it Josh Gabor?
So this is one I have not seen.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. You come home from school, that's what you get to watch.
Nice.
And it was a 1966 Bronco, which ironically is the one that we met and saw at Jimmy's.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So it was a red U13.
Nice.
And I don't remember the main character's name, but he drives up to the shack in this thing. And this is like a fancy New York couple that bought this property out in the middle of nowhere. He has to climb the telephone pole.
Oh my gosh.
To make a phone call. And he would drive the truck to the telephone pole. That's what I remember.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Yeah, I do remember that from Jimmy Green. If you haven't seen that episode, check that out. We'll put a link to that one.
Jimmy Golden.
What'd I say?
Green.
Green Acres. Green Acres, Jimmy Golden. Also, in the early 70s on the show Hawaii Five-0, there was actually a bunch of Broncos that different characters drove throughout different scenes on that. I didn't pick one in particular, but I saw a bunch of Hawaii Five. Did you ever watch Hawaii Five-0?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I'd never seen that one. That was one that I didn't see.
I don't remember seeing the Broncos, though.
Yeah.
So I have one. In 1974, the original Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah.
Not the one that we watched with Nicolas Cage, but the original one, Big Ole. The original Big Ole was in the background, and one of the main characters walked past it, which is really cool. So it makes this little cameo, but would have been neat if they had done it again in the new movie, but they didn't.
Yeah, that would have been super cool. In 1982, moving up, we get into the second generation Bronco. In the movie E.T. Extraterrestrial, it's a super fast scene. It's dark, but there's a second gen Bronco there, 78, 79, and the true Bronco enthusiast can spot it. But E.T. is a big movie, big name movie, so I thought I'd throw that one in there for sure. Also, in 1984, the movie Romancing the Stone, there was a third generation Bronco. We talked about this in our third generation Bronco podcast. A Bronco named Little Mule. And this is one of my favorite scenes. I'll actually put the link to this. I have a little YouTube clip of this clip, of the scene, but it's amazing because, he's like he's in the cartel or something like that. It's like this Hispanic guy, and he's driving this Bronco, and the two characters, Michael Douglas and I forget the lady's name, are just like what is happening? They're getting shot at by, banditos and like all this stuff. And the Bronco makes this epic jump over the river. It's pretty awesome.
Well, and he goes, oh, wait, let me go get my little mule. Yeah. And it's this Bronco with headers, this full-size Bronco.
Yeah.
Which is the joke. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
To lupus escape. I used it many times in the past.
In the cult classic, Twin Peaks, they had an 89 Bronco, a police Bronco. So it was a full-size Bronco, and the main character used it, Harry S. Truman. Was that really his name?
I never watched this show, so I'm not actually sure. But like, there's a huge cult following around Twin Peaks. They actually shot that show where my sister lives in Snoqualmie, Washington. So yeah, I haven't watched the show, but police Bronco, that's pretty cool. That's a cool. We should remake a police Bronco. That'd be fun.
Well, if I was a policeman or a sheriff, I would want a Bronco.
Absolutely.
In the 80s.
Yeah, totally. Terminator 2, Judgment Day. So not the original, but the second one. There's a 1982 Bronco that was in a few scenes being worked on. Unfortunately, it wasn't driven in the chase scene, the epic chase scene of the movie. But I did hear, I couldn't find it, but I did hear that in the extended cut of the film, they actually finished the Bronco and take it for a drive. So it was like, it was kind of in the background. They're working on it throughout a couple scenes.
They were replacing the starter, I think.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
That's funny that you remember that.
I do, because Arnold's holding it like, he could probably crash it.
Yeah, it probably could.
In 1992, my cousin Vinny, everybody I think seen that one, had a sweet 89 XLT Ford Bronco with a car phone. So he's on the phone in the movie.
Yeah.
So these two Utes, remember that?
Oh, is that what that's from?
Yeah.
The Utes.
These two Utes, they couldn't have done it.
Oh, man. Moving down the list, 1993, the hit movie Dazed and Confused had a 1970 first-gen Bronco that was used in a few scenes.
And then in 1994, the ZZ Top hit Breakaway, in their music video, they had a 1970 Ford Bronco, and it was really the main character, kind of like their 34 Ford was.
Yeah. I pulled up this music video and I watched it, and it's like, it starts out, like this cool, like hip 90s, like this guy pulls up in a Bronco next to a couple cute girls and like gives him his number or something. And have you watched this video?
I haven't seen that.
Dude, they like, then all of a sudden it turns out this girl's like a vampire, and like she like sucks the dude's blood. I was like, what's happening in this video? Total ZZ Top. Music video. I'll put a link. But we'll put links to all this, all that we've found. But this is a weird music video for sure. But yeah, the Bronco is a big part of it.
Also in 1994, Keanu Reeves drove a first-gen Bronco in the beginning of the movie Speed. It's a silver Bronco, and it's got like a roof rack with little round KC highlighters on it, and it's sweet. Silver with a silver roof, which was pretty typical, versus the two-tone paint job that everybody does today.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I've seen Speed so many times. I had no idea there was a Bronco in that movie. Like when you think of Speed, you think of the bus. Like, that's all I think of. But yeah, he's on the phone and on the pay phone. He's on a pay phone, which you'll never see those anymore. But yeah, he's on the pay phone and hops in his first gen Bronco and takes off. That was pretty sweet. In the movie Bad Boys in 1995, Will Smith and that other black guy that I can't ever remember his name, they had a chase scene with a third generation Bronco that crashed through a bus stop. I only found pictures of this. I know I've seen the movie Bad Boys, but I couldn't find it online anywhere. So I'll throw a couple pictures up of it, but it looked like a pretty good Bronco crashing through a bus stop.
There's a lot of full-size Broncos in these too, like most of the movies in the 80s. So here's one, 1998, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. That's the name of the movie. There's a first-gen Bronco used one of the characters heads out and to watch the Mint 400. So they're out like around California or Vegas. Where's the Mint?
Yeah, I think it's Vegas.
No, it is Vegas because it's named after the Mint Casino.
Yep. Yeah, that one's pretty cool. I actually haven't seen the movie, but I've seen the clips of the Bronco for some reason. But yeah, pretty cool early Bronco in that one. So this is, I think, one of my favorites now. The year 2000. In the year 2000, the pop hit Charlie's Angels had a first generation Bronco. I've maybe paused that. Few scenes in that movie, driven by the one and only Bill Murray. And the Bronco's seen going over jumps, going off-road. And the cool thing is the same Bronco is actually used in the background of a couple scenes of 50 First Dates. So I'm wondering if it was like Drew Barrymore's Bronco or something like that. Like, because Drew Barrymore's in Charlie's Angels and in 50 First Dates.
Well, they abuse the thing in Charlie's Angels. I think it gets airborne.
Yes.
You're talking about the one that's like flag blue, medium blue.
Yeah. I mean, I found a clip on YouTube of the end of it, but like there's this one scene where Bill Murray like busts in, like with the Bronco, saves the day. All the Angels hop in, like they go, they're like just blazing down trails in it, and it's a great like just Bronco chase scene. I would say probably one of the top Bronco just like fun movie scenes that I've seen.
Well, so the character that he plays, this is like Boz or something like that. I can't remember.
I forget.
He's the guy that takes care of the Angels.
I didn't even know there's a storyline in that movie.
Although 50 First Dates is a great movie.
That is a good one. Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore. Yeah. Where she loses her memory.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
No, I love that movie because every day she wakes up and he's got to like start all over again. He's got to court her all over again. It's awesome. Yep.
And also early 2001, the comedy Zoolander. Now, have you ever watched Zoolander?
I actually probably could quote the whole movie.
Yeah, me too. That's a great movie. Had the amazing gas fight scene.
The freak gasoline accident.
Gasoline accident. And where they have this awesome gas fight. It is a hilarious. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like the whole movie is ridiculous. We probably lost 5 viewers because we said we like this movie, but yeah, they start having this gas fight, a bunch of male models.
It's like a pillow fight, but with gasoline, and they got 2 hoses going.
And then one of them lights a cigarette, and it's like just all goes up, and oh my gosh, just hilarious. But there's an early Bronco in that, and was it silver or was that one painted black and white?
I don't remember.
Let me pull it up. I think it was silver. I just remember it's all silver, yeah.
He says, I can't turn left. No, wait, is that where he says, merman?
Merman, I'm a merman.
Yeah.
I got the black lung pops.
So moving on, in 2001, the movie's Ocean 11. This is one of my favorite Bronco scenes. The 2 guys the young guys that are always fighting and like incessantly fighting to the point that they're going to lose their schedule. The whole thing's going to fall apart. They go to the racetrack in Las Vegas, and one has a giant full-size Bronco on 44s.
Like flames on the side.
Oh, and it's got a blower coming out of the hood, and the other guy has a tiny version of it, RC car, and they're going to drag race. And right before they get to the end, the big truck just monster trucks over the RC car.
It's like the defeat on the remote control car guy. He's just like, oh, like so much pain.
This is how they spent all the money they made on one of the heists.
Yes. Oh, that is a great scene. Also early 2000s. This is the one. 2004 to 2010, the TV show Lost. Jack Shepherd drove a brown Ford Bronco in his flashback scenes. So this is the moment. One of my buddies had a Bronco when I lived in Seattle. He was actually the driver of the rally car that we drove. But he had a Bronco, and I remember when I was watching this show Lost and I saw Jack Shepherd pull out of his brown Bronco, I was like, I'm going to have one of those. Like that was, I don't know if we had Google back then or if it was Metacrawler or whatever it was, but like I Googled what was Jack driving, what was Jack Shepherd driving. And that was that was when my love affair with the Bronco truly started.
So this one's a little different. John's serving this up for me.
I made sure Donnie gave this one.
The Pussycat Dolls. He just wanted to hear me say that. And Busta Rhymes hit "Don't Ya" had a yellow first gen Bronco, and we have a YouTube link for you.
Oh yeah, I'm watching it right now.
Can you rap to anything?
Girlfriend was hot like me.
Are we gonna watch it now? Don't ya?
I mean, it's actually a pretty cool Bronco. They're driving through California, where the water goes through. I forget what those are called. But like the gullies where the water goes through. So they're driving through one of those, and like they have another off-road vehicle-ish kind of thing. And then there's like all these girls in 90s clothes dancing, and it's hilarious. 90s is actually kind of back, so they look like they're actually in style now. And then Busta, he's like the one dude, the one lucky guy who is in this video. But it's very funny, and I'm like, I haven't heard this song in years.
But we're gonna play it.
Don't ya? If we had the rights to it, I'd play it right now. Hey, speaking of Big Ole, jumping ahead to 2014, the movie Need for Speed used Big Ole in one of their scenes. It was same Big Ole that was in Gone in 60 Seconds. Yeah, it was in one of the chase scenes, and it was kind of a secondary chase vehicle, and the car gets lifted off by a helicopter in the end, but it was cool. It was like, oh, Big Ole, like that's super sweet to see it being used in the movies.
And then it disappeared after that.
Really?
Yeah, and then it was brought back, restored, and we know the rest of that story.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
And flipped over and rolled.
Yep, got rolled.
Yeah.
Yep.
So in 2015, there's the movie Straight Outta Compton, which had a white Ford Bronco parked outside in the street near the Death Row Records.
So the interesting thing about that one is the movie was set in 1994. Do you know what happened in 1994?
Yeah, OJ.
So I think it was like kind of their little jab at like, hey, maybe OJ was at Death Row Records at the time, like hanging out with some people. Like, so they
and it was a white Bronco.
It was, yeah. So they kind of
it was just a little commentary on that.
Yeah. Like they didn't talk about it or anything like that, but I think it was a little OJ jab.
They got it wrong though.
They got it wrong. 2017, moving up, a first-generation Bronco appeared in the movie Kingsman: The Golden Circle. The thing's quick, but does show off the early Bronco. They actually, they have a gun in the glove box. So they're, sitting in a Bronco, and they kind of have a scene there, and, there's a gun in the glove box and stuff. So, a little bit more. It showed a little bit of the interior of a Bronco. It looked pretty nice. It was a nice one.
But last but not least is a quick shot of an early Bronco in the newest Top Gun. Never remember his name, but I do remember him showing up, and he's all cool, and he's got sunglasses, the sun's setting. It's almost like a silhouette of the Bronco.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wanted to see a lot more of that truck.
Yes, and it was so brief. It was such a brief, they literally show the front headlight, and that's it. I'm like, come on. Because it wasn't Tom Cruise riding a motorcycle. They didn't show a lot.
Yeah, they showed a lot of that.
Yeah,
but I wanted to see the Bronco.
Right.
My favorite Bronco scenes is the worst driver ever driving a full-size Bronco. And it's a full-size Bronco. It's flamed out. It's lifted. And it's Flea, the lead singer from the Red Hot Chili Peppers in the movie. It's called Chase.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And everyone comments on because he's in the truck driving. I don't know if it was a stunt driver or not, but they roll the truck.
Oh my gosh.
So
that's awesome. We do have to mention the John Bronco movie mockumentary kind of thing. I've actually only seen the first 10 minutes of it. I haven't even watched the whole thing.
You got further than I did.
Yeah. But one of our buddies, our Icelandic buddy, he is actually in it. And
in it.
Yeah, he listens to the podcast. And I can never pronounce his name, so I won't. But yeah, he's in Iceland, and he kind of helps run the Broncos of Iceland Instagram page. And but yeah, he's come to America before and came to Super Celebration a couple years ago. But in the first 10 minutes, there's there's this montage of people like talking about John Bronco. And he's one of them. So yeah, I was like, oh, that's cool that they got him involved in it as well. So yeah, but yeah, John Bronco is kind of a mockumentary that, they came out with about, this guy I think he was trying to win like the Baja or something like that. And did it in a Bronco. So, well, there you go. Some Broncos in pop culture through the years. Let us know. What's one that we missed, or what was your favorite that you saw through the years? But before you go, we teased it. We got some stuff to give away. So first of all, we've been doing the Bold Performance Exhaust giveaway. And we'd been teasing that in the last 2 weeks. I know we didn't announce the winner because how we recorded the episodes, but we're announcing the winner today. So what we did was we talked with Tom's Off-Road, and they were like, hey, why don't we give away something for your listeners? So they said, we'll give away the Bold Performance Exhaust, which was the kit that Donnie just installed on his Bronco and loved it, loved the sound of it. So we were like, yeah, so we did a giveaway, and the winner is, should we do another drum roll? The winner is Jesse Lewis. Congratulations, Jesse. You are the new owner of a Bold Axleback exhaust from Bold Performance.
So what do you have for us? For our listeners?
So now the new hotness that we've got going on. So we got two things. We got another giveaway, which we already talked about, and an early access part, which I think is pretty awesome. So let's talk about the new giveaway. So new giveaway is Tom's Off-Road again, coming in like a boss. $500 Tom's Off-Road gift certificate and a Tom's Off-Road swag bag. So we're going to put a link in the description below or in the show notes. So definitely check that out. Check that link out. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description below. If you're on, any of your podcast platforms, then go. There should be a description button or like a show notes button that you can click on and check that link out because you definitely want to be a part of that. But that's not all. I love saying that's not all.
Wait, there's more.
Oh, wait, yeah, but wait, there's more. Okay, look at this, Donnie. We've got the goods here. If you can see this is unnecessary for right now because it's so hot. But this is going to be awesome to have in the winter. This is the Tom's Off-Road heated seat kit. This thing's pretty awesome. It comes with a wire harness. It comes with the heated pad for you to put in your seats. And the cool thing about this is it will work with the stock seats. It'll work with aftermarket seats. Whatever you've got, this is a sweet new product from Tom's Off-Road, and they are offering this to you guys, our listeners of the Broncast, for the next 2 weeks. So today is July 3rd. Isn't it July 3rd or July 2nd? What's today? July 3rd. So today is July 3rd. So if you, again, click the link, you're going to see, or if you go to our show notes, you're going to see this. This is only good until July 16th. So if you want to get in on this, you have to click the link. You can't search for this on Tom's website yet. It's hidden because it's just for you guys. And you get 15% off of the total price. So pretty sweet deal to get that. Pretty awesome swag to be getting. It is $60. So yeah, definitely. And it comes with a little push button too that you can mount in the dash. It's pretty awesome. Thank you, Tom's. Thank you, Tom's Off-Road. They're the best. The best. All right, guys, that's it for this podcast. We'll see you next time.